Hello.
Hello. You called. We
Yeah,
missed your call. I thought we had a voicemail. What's going on? You want me to keep playing this gravel deal or what's happening?
Gravel doesn't know anything about what he's doing.
Well, and that's what I was trying to say to him because I learned through you that I had no idea what I was doing and it was too late to know that. You know what I mean by that? That's kind of what I was explaining.
Well, I sold all my cards.
Right, but you did explain properly that there's a right way and a wrong way, right? And I was doing it the wrong way, and I think what you're saying is he's doing it the wrong way right now as well.
Well, it depends what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. It looks like for him, I guess it's not really about making money. I guess that's what he's saying. He's just doing it for fun. So is he technically doing it right then?
Well, if he's trying to lose money and have fun, he's doing it perfect.
That's yeah, that's exactly what I would agree. Yes.
Now I had 16 signed cards. You know, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and I sold all 16 cards at a heritage auction. I paid 32 grand for the 16 cards, and I got 45 grand back. So I got pretty much a 40% profit off my cards. And what I did is I pivoted into tickets. I'm collecting tickets now.
Okay.
Because cards are for little kids. You know, cards are.
So you think I had the right statement in saying it was you playing with these kitty cards?
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of junk. Because it's just they can print as many as they want, and they try to create rarity, a 1 of 1, a 1 of 25. It's all phony. Now the ticket market. Like, for example, I have a ticket of Sandy Koufax's first win in the major leagues. There's only 8 of those tickets. There's only 8 of those tickets in existence that we know of. And it's worth over $10,000 because of the rarity. It's real rarity.
Kind of like that. I think what was the one, the Indy 500 ticket you were telling me about with Kyle that he won it signed.
Yeah, but I don't think that's worth more than $500.
Well, I know, but still, it's like that kind of world. Just the older, more rare ones are worth more.
The farther back in time, the most expensive ticket is the Jackie Robinson debut. It's worth about $400,000, and the Michael Jordan debut is getting up in that territory. But Jordan's kind of an exception. But the farther back in time, the Jackie Robinson, the Babe Ruth, the Lou Gehrig, the DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle debut. Mickey Mantle debut's going up for sale. It'll probably be about 150 grand. The farther you go back in time when there's real rarity, but I think tickets is the latest. It's
fad.
Way ahead of it. It's not a fad. It's where big money card guys are pivoting into tickets. You got to be.
But wouldn't you still call that a fad within the industry?
Well, a fad, you're implying it's going to come and go. These tickets, as time goes on, if you look back at the values of how they've risen over the last 10 years, and you look at what has happened, and you analyze what's happened over the last 5 or 10 years to arrive at the prices today, you can project what it's going to be doing in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, we had a commenter say cards are big business and you don't know. I guess they don't know your background of the card industry. But
cards, it depends what you're dealing in. I mean, if you're dealing in Mickey Mantle 52 Mantle cards or 34 Gowdy Lou Gehrig, yeah. But if you're just going to try to buy modern cards and you want to gamble because they're going to put one valuable card in 10 packs, I mean, you can do that.
It's worse than gambling. I think it's worse than gambling. It's the worst return I've ever experienced in my life.
Not really investing. I'm in investing, and
that would be the right way to do it.
My cards made me 40% in about 2 years, and I'm saying all that money's been turned into tickets, and I'm saying my tickets will probably be 100% return at this point.
Okay. And why are you so confident in that?
Because I've researched what the numbers have done, and I watch auctions every week, and I've done my research. This is what this is what you do. You research things, and you study things, and that's what I think. It's like when you sat in my office and I said, "Buddy, Kofoid will be a champion of the Outlaws in a couple of years."
And I agree.
And, I can't remember if you agreed.
I agreed. I mean, I've been saying he's Larson all these time. I don't know if you've heard us or the beginning of the show or not. I don't know if you listen.
I go in and out, but Buddy,
What did you hear about what I had to say? What did you hear? Did you?
Today?
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't listen to today. I just turned it on and Gravel was talking cards, and I said, "You're right in my wheelhouse." But
so the debate.
I just feel bad for. I just want to say that I feel bad for Buddy that NASCAR didn't give him the shot he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
He's every bit as good as good as Larson, Bell, and Corey Day.
He's Kyle Larson on dirt. That's what I said earlier in the show. That's what he is. Period.
But the fact that he's not making millions of dollars like he should be is just the way fate worked out. But I think when it's all said and done, he'll be one of the all-time greats. He's won 24 of his last 108 races, which is a 22% winning rate.
Well, I'm curious on this. We heard this on Jeremy's show, at least the sprint car fans did.
Yeah.
But I'm more so curious. The show tonight was about Gravel's comments towards Buddy. And not just Gravel's, but everyone's comments in the pits. Not on camera, not what you're seeing or reading, but what they're saying in the pits about Huset's in particular. They're thinking that it's not all the way the same, but they're thinking it's more so he's really good there because they got something special. Like they have a Macquarie, Casey Kane, Williams Grove scenario. Not that bad, but they're saying it's the car. And my whole show was basically saying, look at the, we dissected the video because Gravel, I said, look what he did in the heat race. Y'all could have done that if you got up there and did it like him. He said, well, Carson did the same thing. And I was like, no, he didn't. So we just dissected the video of how Buddy was actually I was explaining how Larson and Day and Buddy, like they don't just go in there and pitch these cars, they go in there and they arc the car properly. And they enter correctly. They position themselves on the track perfectly. And these quick little tracks, narrow tracks, they're coming from California. I think the midget experience helped Buddy a lot too to make quick, fast decisions when he's dodging all the kiddies that he had to. And Buddy Kofoid's just Kyle Larson on dirt. And I was like, I told David, I said, if you put you and Buddy at Knoxville, say, in the same car, you're probably going to drive away from Buddy because that's more your wheelhouse, right? But if y'all are in the same car here at Huset's, I still think Buddy's going to drive away from you because this style of racetrack is Buddy Kofoid's style of track. And he's just got the talent, the consistency, the anticipation. Their claim of it's like, because he was like, you have a double standard, Chaz, because you said Casey Kane's win was more so the car, and it shocked the world because of how good, we got to see how good a car can make a driver look. And now you're saying it's Kofoid making the car look like that. And it is somewhat of a checkmate. I don't really know how to respond to that, but I just know that Buddy Kofoid is that damn good as well. He ain't Casey Kane.
Well, if you're going to look at a body of work, which is what I'm talking about, Steve Kinzer won about 25% of his outlaw races. Kyle Larson won about 23% of his outlaw races. In Buddy's last 108 races, as I said earlier, he's won 24. That's 22%. Now, Buddy's career percentage is a tick under Gravel. Gravel's 12.23, Buddy's 12.03. But Buddy didn't start off his career. Buddy he didn't have good sprint car. He had the Dan Simpson car, which was 10-year-old equipment to start. He jumped around. He ran midgets. He ran the 11N car. He jumped around in different cars. This Roth team is the first time in Buddy's whole life, he got in a top car.
Sprint car.
And that's right. You saw what he did in the midget. After a year, he was one of the greatest midget drivers ever. He was going to win the championship every year he wanted. Now he's going to do the same thing in sprint cars.
He was going to do the same thing in NASCAR as well. He just didn't have money, and he wasn't a diversity program. I said that as well.
Corey Day didn't have the money, but Kyle Larson and Gordon. He
had the selection.
They wanted Corey Day. Larson's never been friendly to Buddy. You'd have to ask Kyle about that when you get a chance. But Buddy was born to do this. Gravel and whoever in that pit area wants to pick apart UCITS like it's the car. You go right ahead. Buddy's going to continue to win it over a 20% rate for as long as he wants to, and he's going to wind up with hundreds of wins. And Gravel's career winning percentage is basically 12%.
Do you know? But see, this is the problem with your comparison of the win percentage, in my opinion. When you're talking Kinzers or you're talking even, I guess, a Gravel, and stuff like that. Like, they didn't necessarily make their first starts, for a decent amount. I know that Kofoid ran the World of Outlaws, but not an extreme amount before he got into the Roth car. But he did jump right into the series with a very top-tier team right off the jump as a rookie. How many starts did he have prior to getting into the Roth sprint car?
That's a good question. I'll have to look into that.
But do you know what I'm saying by this? Like, there was years there were Gravels running the family car, and he didn't go to midgets. I mean, I think there is something to say when you get into a Cadillac like a KKM car, and you get used to that good equipment, and then you get into good equipment again. Like, Gravel kind of had to bounce around, and I mean, they had good equipment, but they didn't have Cadillac setups. Like a KKM midget is a Cadillac setup with the crew, with everybody ready to go. You just got to get in and drive. I mean, their family car is not horrible. I didn't say it was, but.
No, that's a good point. I'll go back and look into the numbers at what their winning percentage is when they got into a top level ride.
I'd like to see it since Buddy got in the series. What's the difference?
Well, this is only his third year?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could toss the first year. What's the last two? I mean, I would say it's leaning on the Gravel side, right?
He's 24 for 108. I mean, what do you want?
No, I'm not saying he's bad. I think he's great. I mean, I just think that career percentage is obviously, it's just like coach win percentages too. I mean, the more years, the more games you play, the more games you win or lose, that percentage obviously goes down. So for David to have that percentage after all these years of racing is just as equally as impressive as Kofoid's career percentage, in my opinion. That's a pretty high percentage for as many races as Gravel had. How many is Kinzer, you said? You said you knew Kinzer and Larson's, right?
Their percentage?
Yeah, I think you recited it on the show.
Well, Kinzer's 24.9.
Obviously, he had some severe advantages, but was it Larson close to that as well?
Yeah, he was 23 something. I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, he was like 23. But Larson was never in bad equipment.
Yeah, his worst equipment was the Abreu 1K, out of all of them,
I'm just saying, Buddy's going to continue to win 20%. If you look at Gravel, you want to look at Gravel over the last, we want Gravel's winning percentage?
If you want to do the last two would be a somewhat fair comparison, because I thought Kofoid was going to come in and contend for the title in the rookie year. I remember you calling me an idiot for that. I just know how good Kofoid is. And I believe he's kind of in the hunt there with Gravel a little bit in that first year. And then he had some early season mistakes.
Gravel won 18 races back in 2017. What car was he in?
CJB.
So he's had good rides since then. He didn't get anything bad since then.
No, correct. But it did take a minute to get to the CJB car, right? So
okay, that's right. You're making me do homework now. I'm sitting here with the calculator. You're
but
right.
then at
For
this,
one,
what?
okay, wait, I'll figure this out in a second here.
You said you're right.
I'm looking at how many years gravel was in equipment before that.
Yeah, so 2017 to 2012, I think.
289. He only won 7 of his first 289.
See, there you go. I mean,
okay, let's take that off as total.
Take that off as total, because that would be his more fair win percentage.
289. 733. Okay, 118 divided by 733.
17%.
16.1%. 16.1.
Since he's been in good equipment.
Yeah.
Or, well, since the 18-win season, you're saying?
Since the 9-win season, yeah, in 2016.
Okay. But you could probably still put another year worth of races on that, to be honest. Because, I mean...
Not count that year?
No, add another year on. Because, I mean, winning 9 races, he obviously had to be in some decent equipment the year prior, right? To get to the CJB car.
That year's counted.
Okay.
That year's counted.
Okay. So the bill rose.
16.1. We're going to say gravel, 16.1 in good equipment.
Right. I mean, once again, you are still judging a long duration of time, you know.
It shouldn't matter. You should keep winning as you look at Kinzer.
You should, right? But that's also why it's hard to be a 10-time champion, is to keep the consistency while everybody else is getting better.
I'm looking at when Buddy got in good equipment.
Whoa, somebody just said Aaron Reitzel announced he is going to Skagit. Announced it today. Interesting news. Is that true? That's the only thing when you're dealing with these YouTube people.
Okay, we're going to say Buddy started off 1 for 33.
I got to verify this Aaron Reitzel deal. Oh my. Wow. How do you view this, Joe?
What?
How do you view shit like this that's happening out here in this racing world?
What's the problem?
Like this, so you know, Todd in Houston does the 100K bonus, and then 14 hours ago, meaning this morning, they announced that Aaron Reitzel's going to Super Dirt Cup on Skagit's page.
You want my opinion?
Well, I mean, Aaron was the one toss-up without the announcement. You know, it's right on the hills, so it's like the middle finger right back. I mean, what's the big money game here?
Well, I don't think it's right for an outlaw race to pay drivers more money who aren't outlaws.
Well, then don't you just think that's a Houston's decision, right?
Well, obviously it is, but in my mind, if I was an outlaw driver and I get 100 less than a guy who's not an outlaw driver at one of my sanctioned races, I wouldn't be happy about it.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people were saying, you know, really there's only a few guys who could contend for that win. Would have been, you know, Aaron Reitzel. I guess you could throw Rico in there as a realistic one as well, and then Tim's. And that was about the only 3, and now you remove 1.
So the plan didn't work?
I think that's what this response from Skagit is a finger right back. This is very weird. This Skagit.
Do you think they paid Reitzel?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I guarantee it. I would guarantee it. I would guess to guarantee it. I would guess to Garrett. I don't guarantee, but one would guesstimate that there's at least a 5-figure award to go to Skagit for Aaron Reitzel, on top of the fuel and the expenses it takes to go out there. I would say a minimum of 10,000 with the expenses paid. That's what I would say. I mean, that's how much they pay Kyle. I think they pay Kyle. They used to pay Tony Stewart the same, well, to his foundation, I believe.
Why would Quirin care about high limit guys?
I don't know. And maybe, like you're saying, maybe there is talks of Quirin being interested in high limit. Maybe this was a way to tell the Outlaws, this is how much I like the other guy, even though, like you say, it may have pissed the Outlaws off or Outlaw drivers off. Maybe that was the point.
I'm looking at the chat now. Somebody asked Donnie Schatz's winning percentage. The actual, you want the rundown of the top 10 Outlaw percentages?
Of all time.
Yeah. Okay, Kinzer is 24.9. Larson is 23.1. Doug Wolfgang is 18.5. Sammy is 17.9. Donnie is 13.8. He's number 5. 6 is Mark Kinzer.
Hold on. Can you? I was moving everything over here on the show. What was 1, 2, 3, 4? I heard the Donnie one. I was editing the show. I know nobody thinks I ever do that, but
you want me to start over?
Yes, I was editing. I had to move everything.
Okay. Steve Kinzer's 24.9.
Okay.
Kyle Larson is 23.1. Doug Wolfgang is 18.5. Sammy Swindell is 17.9. Donnie Schatz is 13.8. 6th is Mark Kinzer, 13.0. 7th is David Gravel, 12.2. 8th is Buddy at 12.0. 9th is Carson Macedo.
Wow.
At 10.5. And 10th is Brad Sweet at 10%.
Wow. Carson making the call. What do you think about that, Joe?
That's why I look at these numbers. It's,
but
Carson
got right into the good stuff. Wasn't he even in the Ross stuff before he went national?
He was in the Tarleton stuff out here.
Well, I mean, when he went outlaw racing.
I don't remember. He ran in Ohio for a couple years with Joe Garrity, didn't he?
Yeah, but did they ever race outlaws in the Tarleton stuff when he was first out there or no?
Yeah, he won an outlaw race, I think, at Chico, his first one. Didn't he drive for Kyle Larson?
Yes, he drove for Kyle's team. That was his rookie year.
But Macedo has 60 outlaw wins.
I mean, the 41 gets stringy, man. It does. Macedo's known for winning a couple in a row. I'd be interested on that. How many people have won that'd be a 61. Cool stat. How many sprint car drivers have won 5 World of Outlaw races in a row? Like that. Just that stat. Like 5. That would be very impressive to win 5 in a row, right? That's
what I looked up was how many times Steve Kinzer won 5 races in 5 consecutive days. He did it twice.
He did it once. What's the streak? What's the longest?
I don't know. He won 21 out of 22 one year. But he won 5 in a row, 5 different tracks. He did that once.
Wow.
The most he's ever won in a row, I'd have to go back and that's hard to tell because
you think Wolfgang's year might have been the number 1.
Wolfgang in the Weikert car in 3 years won 120 races. And then in the Danny Peace car, 1989, I'm not sure how many he won. I can tell you right now.
I'm trying to see if ChatGTP knows.
Doug Wolfgang won 42 out of 80 in 1989. He won 42 out of 80 with 67 top fives.
Wow.
Now, Kinser's most he ever won in a year. Do you know?
No. Go ahead and say it.
1987, he won 55 out of 96.
And ChatGTP has the answer on the longest ever, and it was by Steve Kinser in that 1987 year. He won 12 consecutive.
Yeah, 55 out of 96. He had 90 top 10s out of 96 races.
Right.
55 out of 96.
It says in that 87 year, he won 24 of the final 26 races. So even though he had a 12 consecutive, it sounds like in that streak, probably he like won 12 straight races and then lost 2 and then won fucking 11 more or whatever in this 87 year. That's crazy.
I'm trying to find it right here.
What do you want to know? ChatGPT is good, man. You just ask it a question, it figures it out. You ain't got to go look it up.
No, he that wasn't in the season. He had a stretch here of I don't see 12 in a row.
It said 24 the last 26 races. In 87 he won. So it's lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not right.
So this is great. I was just about to say, well, if you don't go research it, you trust ChatGTP is telling the truth. 1, 2, 3, so you just proved how research still matters. ChatGTP is a liar.
He won 8 of the last 10. He won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So, but in 87, you're not even seeing 12 consecutive.
He won 13 of the last 16. No.
You're not seeing 12 consecutive in there at all.
No.
Interesting. So ChatGTP just made this all up, guys.
The biggest winning streak I see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know Sammy had.
I just asked it. I said, according to research, that's not true.
Okay, got broke, Joe. Anything else? Are we done, or what do you want to know?
Oh, you got to go to bed.
And let me look at the chat. Anybody? See if there's anything there.
Read the chat. I mean, nobody expected Broke Joe to be on tonight. I'm surprised Spike isn't in here, just coming all over the screen.
Somebody said, when's the 120? There will never be another 121. It'll be the 11 squared.
Oh, you're talking about your car now. Read the chat. I got to use the restroom. If you hang up while I'm gone, that's fine.
You want me to? Cards are big business. Yeah, cards are big business. But, yeah, they are big business. But if you're trying to make money, I just know vintage. I know vintage cards. I don't know the news. I don't know anything post probably 1980. Let's see here. I'm trying to find an interesting question to answer. Kofoid, the one at you sits in the 11 car, yeah. Yes, how many viewers we got? Only 167 viewers. Okay, well, I don't see anybody asking me anything interesting. Rico's the next Steve Kinser. How many races did Kinser win starting from the last row?
All right, did he hang up?
No, I didn't find many interesting questions
tidbits
in the chat. This is what you have to work with?
Broke Joe, tell the youngins about the old timers. I don't know. What else is there in the racing world? What do you think's cool or bad or great? What's on the West Coast? I don't even know if they've raced over there this year. It's so late and you don't really see highlights anywhere. I don't even know if they're driving over there. Are they? Or
Not much is going on. I mean, we get Jet Barnes's 410 debut this week. I think he's going to be good.
Another little Corey Day or something, or little Larson. You're seeing Kofoid.
Yeah. The way he moves around on the track, he's doing things on the track way beyond what his experience should be allowing him to do. The way he moves around. I mean, it's an instinctive thing. It's a feel, and you can't teach that to somebody. And it looks like he's got it. But other than that, Justin's going to win all the races.
So is that boring? That's a good question. Somebody just asked Chaz, or how did you meet Chaz?
How did I meet Chaz?
This should be a story.
Originally, Justin called me.
What year was this? 2019.
It was 2019. It was towards the middle of the year.
Because that's when the bear got me.
And Justin called and he said, "Joe, you got to hear this knucklehead. You'd probably like this guy, what he's saying." So I started listening.
What was I saying? What was I saying? Let's hear it. What was I saying? I want the details. What got you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the chat. You're kind of tough to deal with because a lot of what you say, I 100% believe in, but there's a lot of things, the way you do it and the way you say it, I disagree with. So it's kind of complicated to me.
Yeah, me. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
But there's certain things you say that I agree with, but I get confused. I get frustrated with you and I get confused by your messages because you early on talked a lot about the working man.
Right.
And you said, I like these guys who were 28 or 30 and they had to work for 10 years to get what they got.
Do I still not do that? What?
No, because
I said it so much.
No, you flip-flop and you start talking up Tanner Holmes and Caleb Montgomery.
I that's not fair. That's an extremely exaggerated statement.
No. You let me finish.
I represent both people. Why can't I represent both or say good things for both?
No, let me go back to what I was saying. You were championing the working man and the guys who had to earn it.
Yes.
Who had to earn it all.
Yes.
And then a minute later, you're championing people from wealthy families.
First of all, Tanner Holmes is the example, the pinnacle example of where he's at today is because of every bit of work he has done.
No.
100%. He would, if he did not do the things that he's done with a camera and an editing tool all those years, he would be racing. He would be another rich kid on the West Coast racing locally. He would have never got these bigger rides or opportunities without doing all that work to build Tanner Holmes to what it was with the videos. Without doing that work, he's not in a national ride, period. He's just on the West Coast on a rich team somewhere. Shane Golovic.
This is the problem we have, and you start raising your voice.
No, because you're misrepresenting what I think.
No, you're misrepresenting. You're not listening. Once again, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to say it as clearly as I can.
Okay.
Once again, for the 100th time. He comes from a tremendously wealthy family.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
Yes.
I don't think you understand what I said.
Yes.
He never went out in the workforce. Never held a job. His family spent millions. Do you know what millions? You ever had $1 million in your hand?
No.
You know, to the working man, to the millions and millions of Americans who get up in the morning at 5 and 6 in the morning to go out and work to support their families and make a future for themselves.
Okay.
What that dollar means.
Okay, I have to 100% agree with you. That's fine. I 100%. And here's why I 100% agree with you is because you're right. I am wrong. What I said is wrong. The work, all that. To compare it is not even fair. It's not. I will say this though. He is the hardest working person who came from that privilege, because there's a lot of other fucking people who have the privilege to have all these. There's rich kids in every corner of the country, all over the place with all the money in the world. But those rich kids didn't put in the fucking work to make it more than what their family was providing them. You know what I mean by that? Like, yeah, okay, he had the money, he had the equipment, but okay, so I was wrong. He doesn't know how to go out there and day labor or fucking change oil all day on a car or do tires. He doesn't know how to he doesn't even know how to go to Starbucks and stand up for 8 hours straight because you have to. I know what you mean about what you're saying. But as far as all the privileged kids, he's the hardest working of all, and Caleb's right there with them because they're making the most of what they're being given.
But they're not accomplishing anything.
Yes, they are. Tanner Holmes is where, once again, I don't know, maybe I'll say it once again very clearly for you. Tanner Holmes is in the national sprint car team right now because of what his hard work did in all the filming and all the editing. Without that work, it would have never went to this degree. It never would have went here.
But he's failing.
He's on a national sprint car team. How is that failing? He's not performing on the track. Hold on. Who else? Who do we not have a bunch of guys on these national tours that just fucking run around the back and don't go nowhere for years, or run top 5 or top 6 or 7?
Okay, let's look at Tanner Holmes' results.
I'm just fucking saying, dude. There's people who run 6th to 10th. That's not saying they're bad. They're just bad on the high limit and the outlaw tour. That's hard to do.
The outlaw tour, let's go to numbers. On the outlaw tour, Tanner
it's his
Holmes
rookie. Or it's not his rookie year. It's rookie year, right?
Well, he's run 65 outlaw races with 0 wins.
Okay.
He's run 50 high limit races.
Okay.
With 0 wins.
How many top 5s, Joe?
I don't care about top 5.
No, I want to see top 5s. Is Tanner Holmes? Hold on. Here's what I'm about to say to you, and you really need to recognize what's wrong with you. This is what's wrong with you, Joe. No, this Tanner Holmes thing is what's wrong with you. Tanner Holmes is not. I don't think anyone would say Tanner Holmes is a Kyle Larson. You know
what is it?
I don't think the goal for Tanner Holmes is to be a Kyle Larson. Does that mean that if you're not Kyle Larson, you're not a damn good sprint car driver that deserves to be on the national level? I don't think so. There's guys running national tour who's a 5th to 10th guy that if you put them on the fucking All-Stars, or look when Danny Samson runs a regional race, they could go out there and kick people's asses still. Like Tanner Holmes is better than like your 5th place guy at fucking Placerville, okay?
Well, wait. I'm confused. Did his driving get him on the national tour, or his YouTube channel? You're saying 2 different things.
No, I'm saying his YouTube channel, which is the hard work.
The YouTube channel.
That's what got him to where he's at. Do I need to say it again? That work, this is the 3rd time I'm having to say it to you now. That hard work is why he's there. That hard work that you don't respect because it's not backbreaking, but that work, we'll just call it work. I call it hard because of how long you have to do it. Like you have to do it for 100 hours a week. You can't quit. You got to do it all the time, every day, like he had to have done. So he had the time because he was privileged, right? But he didn't just go and chase chicks and fucking fuck around like all these other privileged motherfuckers do. He dedicated to building that brand with a YouTube channel, with that privilege.
But
so I'm just saying the reason he's in a national car and he's not Kyle Larson and he's just an average driver or a higher level average driver, is because of the hard work he put in all these years. The YouTube channel, yes.
So you think this is succeeding in America?
It's one way.
Okay.
Do you think the Tanner Holmes brand's like dead if he doesn't succeed on the national sprint car? Nobody who's following him or watching him is watching him because he's winning. You know how many popular losers there are out there? Like, when are we going to figure that part out? Look at Bubba Wallace or something. Like,
So
there's people who are popular losers in racing.
So the sport is about being popular now. It's not about winning. We talked about winning percentage.
It's not about, what do you mean as far as, okay, so success, popularity, what's success to you?
In a sports arena?
It's only performance. And if you're not there, get out.
That's what all professional sports is.
I agree, but this is the problem with motorsports.
The NFL is not a popularity contest. If you don't get results, you get fired.
I agree. It don't matter how good destroying is. You know, destroying is Tanner Holmes. Like the guy destroying, I don't know if you know who that is. He's a kicker. He's a kicker, and he done a lot of trick shots. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
He's a very popular YouTube person. He's called Destroying. Go look it up. It's a real thing. He's a black guy, but he was a D1 athlete or whatever, and then got hurt and didn't recover for a while or whatever. And then he's kind of an average kicker, but it's never been the same. I think that's the story. I'm not 100% sure, but he got popular making YouTube videos of one-on-one tournaments in different cities, and it would be really good. NFL wide receivers will participate. Mike Vick threw one time. A couple of different Cam Newton's been on there, and then he's like, well, he's doing all these trick field goal kicks, and so one of the little arena or USFL teams picked him up, and now he plays for a USFL team, and they got all these views because this guy, you know, went into the league. He basically saved the league popularity by all the people watching. It's almost like Cletus McFarland in NASCAR. I think that Tanner Holmes does slide into our Cletus McFarland, our destroying, our Tanner Holmes, where, yeah, we got one example, but who else is doing that? I understand other people are putting in work to make more content now because they see how valuable all that work is. But a lot of them don't do the work because they're lazy. That's why I like Caleb Montgomery, because he'll put in the work to do the extra shit. He ain't just sitting around chasing chicks. Yeah, he's privileged enough to have a race car and drive, like you're fucking saying. But
and no job.
But he's working. He is making money. He is making money.
On what?
Sponsorships due to his popularity.
What sponsorship? Caleb.com?
No, there's a few.
There's a couple.
His monthly pit talk is extremely successful. I believe he's up to.
No, it's not.
What is it? It's at like 400 members, and they're paying $5 a month. That's pretty good math.
That's a couple grand. That's nothing.
On top of the sponsorships, on top of probably a fuel sponsor, on top of probably a tire sponsor.
Okay,
on top of racing and the race winnings. I mean, it's sponsors. When you get to that level without a job, it's sponsors and it's extracurriculars that make the money.
It's living with your mom and dad and they're bankrolling it. Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, here, let's get to the bottom line here. Let's get to the bottom line.
Caleb likes you, by the way, he said. So
I don't care. Let's get Caleb on the show and have him break down every dollar he spent on racing and how much came in, because we don't know what we're talking about. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Have him break it all down. Have somebody be honest. Come on the show. Tell me how much equipment your mom and dad bought you. Tell us how much the sponsorship is. Tell us the tire bill, the fuel bill, the pit passes, the travel costs, your sponsors, your YouTube channel, Caleb Montgomery. Give us the whole spreadsheet. Give us the whole spreadsheet, Chaz. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
That is hard. That is hard to say.
What's hard? I can't. These people, I don't know. These motors cost 60, 70 grand. It costs you $4 or $5 grand to run a race locally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying even if all this stuff he's doing is making $50,000 a year, it ain't paying for no sprint car operation.
I'm saying I'm not sure. I'm talking about something I might not be sure about. Someone asked Where's Kofoid's job?
Oh shit! Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah. I mean, you do love these guys, the Jet Barnes. You think he's ever going to lift a shovel?
If you can get into a sprint car at 14 years old and win on a national against national guys, you don't have to hold a job. If you're 26 years old,
I think you're completely wrong.
If you're 25, 26 years old, live with your parents, still trying to win a local race, come on.
Here's what I would say. I mean, when Casey Kane won that outlaw race at Williams Grove, broke Joe.
Yeah.
Do you know how many average race car drivers and 410 sprint cars over the years have been better than Casey Kane? So if you just use logic and you say, and you want to do stats, probably go do your average finish stat for sprint car drivers. For instance, everyone on that list with the highest average finish in Casey Kane technically can win a World of Outlaw race if they're put in that equipment.
No,
could you not then say that? So then what I'm saying is, like, does Caleb Montgomery have equipment? Maybe. Does he have elite equipment? No. Like, so, and back to how you described Buddy Kofoid earlier, you talked about instincts. He's just got it. I think the reason these 14-year-old kids are able to get into cars and do so well is I think at 14, Tom Brady still, he had the instincts of a Super Bowl quarterback. I think that Michael Jordan at 14 had instincts like a world champion. I think these guys, Tiger Woods, had the instinct to hit that ball right. It's just instincts to really be able to get it done. The difference is at 14, you don't really have a fear of death much when you're younger. You're kind of young, so you're just willing to go all the way out. So I think that equipment is a big deal. Like if you were able to put a random guy at 26 or any of these people and put them in go-karts for years and get them used to racing, and then 15 or 10 years. We're talking about somebody now at 14 who has almost 10 years of racing experience in something. A Jet Barnes is probably started racing at 4 or 5 years old. If you picked up a 26-year-old and gave him that level of experience, 10 years, and then at 36, you put him in a sprint car, could be the same. He could have the same instincts. He just wasn't as privileged. So those kids are still privileged. So where do you draw the line with these kids? Where does the line of you've never lifted a shovel, I don't respect what you're doing, to Kofoid where you do respect what he's doing, and Larson you do respect? Where's the line? How does it draw?
Chaz, you're not drunk. You're not drunk tonight. This sounds pretty good. That's a good question. Where do I draw the line? I'm thinking that's a good question. I've ever been asked this and had to think about it. But so off the top of my head, I'm going to have to say, if your parents are spending all the money and you're in your 20s, it's kind of creepy to me.
But did they just not have the money when he was a kid? Do you know how bad the parents feel? You know that most of these pitting areas at these go-karts and all these places are just guilted parents that want their kid to be Kyle. If I don't give my kid all he wants, but the parent loves racing, so then the kid's a kid, doesn't even know what he wants at 5, but they're throwing him into this thing, not because the kid wants to do it necessarily, but, they want that more. And then it ends up being, if the kid's got that instinct, he's successful. If he doesn't really got it, then they spend all the money trying to be that guy.
I think this is the most intelligent conversation this show's ever had.
Why? You know what it is, right? You know what it is? Hold on. I didn't mean to bring in my product sponsor. Once again, you joined the show wrong or late. At Huset's, they have a THC drink, and it was very good. And 2 weeks ago, I said, we saw how it is to get drunk on 12 beers and we could barely operate and we're cussing cameraman out. But tonight we're going to see if we could drink 12 of these THC drinks. So I'm on these THC drinks, which are amazing. No munchies. I've only been able to drink 3.5. But yeah, that's what it is. So I guess once a benefit of THC usage, I guess. Cognitive thinking.
Well, I just, my mind just kind of.
I mean, I'm really fucked up right now. I feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not dumb, so.
Someone put something in the chat.
I'm not
here.
Poisoned. Go ahead.
Someone put something in the chat. I'm not going to say names because I've had, me being on this show, I've had people call me.
Oh, no.
With their displeasure.
Oh, no. Didn't you have a guy show up one time?
Yeah, I had a guy show up and he wasn't happy with the show either. It's when I had to get a gun.
No.
I'm gonna just.
You really had to get a gun.
I'm just.
Are you prepared to kill somebody, Joe? What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on. Hold on. You're saying the Chaz show influenced one of the most hippiest motherfuckers I know to buy a fucking gun and you're prepared to die for the Chaz, is what you're saying. Are you? I didn't know you loved me this much, Joe. Wow.
No,
Wait, okay, hold on. You are a hippie in California. To buy a gun, it's not so simple. Like, what?
It's self-defense. It's just self-defense.
But you were prepared to kill somebody or shoot them at least. You went and bought a gun randomly.
I just got to defend myself. But let me just say this.
Oh, my God.
I have to generalize. So if I say any names, I think everyone can figure out who they are. But almost everyone in California that runs a 410 is driving for their mom or dad or father-in-law.
What is this? Why are you laughing?
Because
it's not funny.
It's really funny because when they get on the podium and they name off the sponsors, it's their mom and dad's companies, and they won't say it's mom and dad's companies. No one will say mom and dad sponsored everything.
They do. I know a lot of teams who think they're mom and dad. Don't say that. That's not true. They do think mom and dad. Some of them even think their mom and dad directly and say, hey, without them, this team isn't possible. I've heard that several times. So what's your deal? Once again, we're not going to stop the privilege. We're not going to level it all out. It's not a professional sport. I get your point. It's not the NFL. This is what I was arguing all them years ago, right? That's what I was saying, and I still say it all the time, but you don't want to hear that, I guess. But I still have learned the other ways of the world. I haven't stayed in that bubble. Like, I went out and I interacted and learned the different struggles of rich people and how they operate and how crazy they can be, and and then how this person came up or how much this person did that, and I've learned that privileged degree. It is extremely privileged in some senses, but some senses it's not. The mental issues of the rich communities of the world is very, very large. The suicide rate's pretty high up there. We're used to just working all the time, so we don't even get to think about life. Them rich people, they're so damn rich that they just sit up there and, think. And then they think about themselves, and then they think they need a boob job, or they got to do this. Or
I got to cut you off. Let's get back to racing. I'm looking at the chat here. I got a good question on the chat.
Oh,
ready?
God.
Here's the guy, Calvin Neal.
Where's Joey Bats?
The bigger question is, does Buddy actually know how to work on the car and actually understand what it means to be a racer and not just a driver?
Oh,
Tanner.
no.
What? Expand on what that guy means. What is he saying?
It just sounds like, does he know how to work on the car? It's kind of what it sounds like.
Wait. So this guy is saying, does Buddy understand what it means to be a racer? You're talking about a two-time USAC champion, a guy that's won 28 outlaw races. He's won the Trophy Cup. He's won all-star races. And this guy's not sure if Buddy's a racer because Tanner Holmes will do a video on how to square the rear end.
But see, that's wrong. That's where you're wrong, Broke Joe. This is what you're wrong about.
Chaz, in today's video, I'm going to wash the car on a Tuesday afternoon.
No. Once again, you're wrong. Once again.
Well, what is this guy implying?
What you're missing is the guy is a fucking idiot. I don't know who said it. You're wrong. You're dumb. But what you just said is wrong. Buddy is not a racer at all, period. There's no way he's a racer. He is an elite, world-class, top of the fucking mountain racer. I mean, Tanner Holmes is a racer. I mean, ignore this comment, but, Tanner Holmes is still a racer, right? I mean, all these guys, they can't win them all. But do you think we have, NASCAR can't even find them, I guess. Do you think that there are 24, you think there's 24 other sprint car drivers out there right now just as good as Buddy Kofoid? They just don't have the money or opportunity. Do you think that exists right now for this sport to be NFL? So what I'm saying is, you believe there's 24 other sprint car drivers that are more elite than the entire, Buddy Kofoid, Gravel, and Reitzel would survive if all the best got a chance? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm trying to think here.
You think we got 24 that are better than Cole Macedo? I think Tanner Holmes and Cole Macedo are performing about the same this year.
No, Cole Macedo's better.
I'm not saying Cole Macedo ain't better, but they've been performing about the same if you're going to go by results. Do you think this year fairly represents Cole Macedo statistically?
I have to look at the numbers. He occasionally gets a top 5 in the Outlaws, don't he?
I thought you don't count top 5s. That's what you said earlier.
Well, you want me to compare it to the?
You said you don't count top 5s. What are you talking about? Will this year fairly with the statistic bracket of this? Go ahead.
You want me to compare statistics of two guys who don't win? So what else am I going to do?
And you want to act like the fucking 13 boot car is a damn Big Game Motorsports machine or Roth Motorsports. The fuck are you talking about? You think Tanner Holmes is not a better race car driver than Casey Kane in a sprint car? I think Tanner Holmes is better than Casey Kane. We can have that debate. We can have that debate. I mean, Casey Kane maybe has an advantage. I might have to say slightly better. Slightly better.
The equipment is holding him back.
I think he's doing decent with that equipment, yes. And I'm not saying the equipment is trash. It's just not a Morrison, It's just not a Toyota specially built motor.
So you're blaming Tanner Holmes' results on the equipment.
I'm not. But all I'm simply saying is that equipment can fairly represent you. We just look at Cole. You think his win percentage is fair in his National Outlaw 2 years, or is the 2C holding him back? 2C and the 13 are about the same to me. About the same. Not the same people or characteristics, but the 2C ride and the 13 ride is about the same quality of car, in my opinion.
But see,
do you not agree?
the
Let's have
world,
that debate then, because I
no,
know
no,
you like Colmacito.
I'm switching things up a little bit.
So you don't want to answer that. You want to divert.
Yeah, I'm going to pivot to something else. A little different. It's a variation. It's a variation of this. The guys who were going to wind up being the winners didn't all start off in the best. David Gravel won an outlaw race for Bill Rose.
Okay.
And when you do something like that, then a bigger money team picks you up. It's a pecking order.
But Tanner Holmes looked pretty good in the Tarleton car. I think that's why he got a national shot too. He performed well when he got that shot. I think that's a big reason as well. Because if he would have gotten that Tarleton car and just kind of filled, he didn't though. He did do well when he got that ride.
Not really. Not really.
Good is not amazing, but he didn't suck. Once again, elite racer versus regular racer, Joe.
But if Holmes is going to be somebody, we don't know how the story's going to end. I'm saying it's on a path to mediocrity. Maybe I'm wrong. He's been out there for over 100 national races. I don't think he's ever battled for the lead yet, has he? I could be wrong. Has he? In an outlaw or high limit race, has he ever?
Yeah, because he almost won that Douglas County, remember?
Okay, so some little dumpy track in Oregon that, okay.
Well, I mean, that happened. Williams Grove, Casey Kane, Macri, I'm just saying.
Well, that was Williams Grove. I'm looking at it here. I don't want to, maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
And I think that was an outlaw show.
He has 3 outlaw top 5s out of 65 races.
And I would guess 2 of those or 1 of those would be at that Douglas County. Or was that high limit? That might have been high limit.
I think one was at Jackson in the Bobby Allen car. Then one was at the Skagit prelim in a family car where he started on the pole and fell to 4th. And then was it a Sharon Outlaw race? It was real slicked off in the Bobby Allen car. Okay. But if you look like let's say you look at his last dozen outlaw races. You just look 2005 on. 34, 22, 13, 7, 36, 39, 57, 7, 34, 39, 33, 32, 26, 19, 8, 24, 23, 13, 10. I mean, come on. That's mid-pack.
I understand, and I understand how I would sit here and typically agree, but I mean, I've had some things change my life recently, and one of the main ones of perspective of drivers and how good they are, one of the main things that changed my life recently was that fucking Casey Kane win at Williams Grove.
No, okay, let me talk about that.
That has completely changed my mind. That makes me think anyone in the A main, in the high limit or World of Outlaws can win those races.
That's right. Once in a while, about every 200 or 300 outlaw races, there's a fluke.
I don't think it was a fluke. It exposed the industry.
No, TJ Stutz won an outlaw main. Jason Statler beat Steve Kinzer at Santa Maria in the 90s, won an outlaw main. There's a randomness to things. There's a certain night where everything, he got the right pill draw, he got the right heat race, he got the right dash, he got the right track position. The lap cars fell the right way. The yellows, there was no yellow actually.
Yeah, but the ability he showed there in that car, like he looked.
That's right.
I mean, it didn't. It wasn't.
TJ Stutz won an outlaw race. Okay, Chaz, it's the same thing. Brock Zerfoss has outlaw main, don't he? Yeah, it happens. It can happen. It can happen for anybody. Anybody can win. That's just. It's like when you throw out a couple highs and a couple lows, and you look at the body of work. You're just picking out one night. It was a fluky night. It went right. Casey did a great job.
But anyone can do that. I mean, you just
I'd
said
say
TJ
anybody,
Stutz, so you just
I'd
said
say
TJ
anybody.
Stutz, so anyone could have a
That's
fluke
right.
night.
That's
Anyone.
right. Well,
Anyone in the field.
anybody in the top 100 in the country.
Okay.
Anyone in the top 100 could, yeah. Golubic has 2 outlaw wins. Sanders has none.
It's weird how that
I mean,
randomness happens at Williams Grove more than anywhere else.
well, Gio won his first outlaw win at 16 at the Grove, didn't he?
Well, I want to know what you think of that.
Of what?
You used to tout Gio just like you are, buddy. You used to. I know you since 2019, and you were touting that bell just like you are for Kofoid. What do you think of what that is now? What happened?
You know, that is probably the most confusing guy in the country to me, because I think Gio should be doing what Buddy's doing,
Yeah.
and he hasn't been doing it.
You did talk the same way.
You're asking me what are the reasons or why?
If Buddy was running like this,
At one point, Gio and Buddy both had 9 career outlaw wins. They were tied in outlaw wins for a career.
Hasn't
were.
Gio had like a few more years on the national scene than Gio, or than Buddy?
Someone says, I suppose Broke Joe doesn't think Carly Holmes works.
Don't worry about these, Joe. Don't pivot from this. This is good. What do you think of Gio? Don't pivot on this Gio.
We'll get back to that. You talk about Holmes, so he is already somebody. Wow. So it's I don't understand.
Okay, let's get over these points, Joe. On the Tanner Holmes deal, though.
Okay.
Do you at least what?
Let's finish Gio.
Okay.
I don't know what the answer is. I think Gio, like Buddy, I thought they would be battling for outlaw championships. I don't understand it myself. I don't know. I'm not there. If I was there in the pits, maybe I'd have a better understanding of why Gio's not doing what I think he can do. And I'm confused. I don't know. Right. I like Gio. I think he's a great talent, but I don't know. If I knew, I'd tell him.
But you think he's still got it? You don't think it's a talent thing?
Once again, I'm confused. I'm questioning
yourself.
I'm questioning what I originally thought I saw.
Everyone saw it. I think it's a shock to the world. I think everyone's shocked at G. I don't think it's just you. You know, I mean, everybody blamed the KCP ride for how many years, and then he finally left it. And then
somebody's saying we're talking a lot of BS. What BS are we talking?
Don't worry about the fucking commenters. But you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone thought the 18 was holding Gio back. Like, we were like, everybody in the world thought Gio's coming. Here he comes. He gets the 18, and then it's like, what happened? Where's it going? Why ain't it there? You know, well, I think everybody saw that surge of a Corey Day, a Kyle Larson type, one of those style, like we're seeing with Kofoid. If everyone watching today is so convinced on Kofoid right now, that is exactly how Gio was running back then when you dove into it. Like, he was winning. He did what he did at the Grove. I mean, he wasn't doing it because he wasn't on the Outlaws full time like Buddy is now, but he was just as successful.
Yeah, I'm confused. I mean, we could talk about it forever. I don't really know the answer. I don't know if my assessment, if I was wrong, or
you think it could be the teams.
Well, I have the same questions for Spencer Baston. I think Baston's good, and I don't understand why there's so many bad results.
Right. Back to Casey Kane. There's the answer. It exposed the industry. What happened with Casey Kane exposed this industry. It is true that some of these guys are just like Gio running 4th to 7th because the equipment might be there, but if they don't got one of those fucking elite crew chiefs, dude, I think elite crew chiefs is the most valuable position in all of probably dirt racing.
But
period.
Reitzel don't have a crew chief.
He in himself is that valuable crew chief. But if you don't have that level of a valuable crew chief, you're screwed. I think that Reitzel's up there with Jacobs. And obviously, look what he does. I don't think Gio's ever had. Has Gio ever had that?
Gio is knowledgeable. He used to build the cars for his brother. Gio knows the cars.
Okay.
You would think at this point in time that he would know.
You think he should be a Reitzel, kind of?
I thought he was. I don't understand. I'm completely baffled by it, and I'm disappointed by it.
You thought he was the crew chief on the 71 car?
I think he has input. I don't think he's just driving around. I think he knows what he's doing. He's not unknowledgeable about the car.
I'm not saying that, but you get to this level and people hate that if there's a crew chief, you know. That's how you get these crew chief driver dramas going, you know.
But Gio goes to the Grove in Bernie's car and wins an outlaw race, and I watch him in a high limit race not get beat by Tanner Thorson. I don't have an explanation for it. I do not. Now, Tanner Thorson is a crew chief.
Has Tanner Holmes finished ahead of Gio this year?
Well, there's always a few races where you start.
Okay. So then technically Tanner Holmes is just as good as Gio.
No, you look at the point.
They're just in these cars that are holding them back. Period. This is why I say, Joe, I know how you're saying this. And this is why David's saying I got to pick a side. I know you're saying what you're saying. But after Casey Kane won and had the speed right out of the gate, not even just winning Williams Grove, he had speed right out of the gate, quickest in hot laps. As I saw that Casey Kane thing, you've lost a bet on this. When I saw this is how, you've already lost money over what I'm talking about, and you still ain't learned your fucking lesson, boy. You need more whoopings.
No.
This fucking race car is controlling these drivers out here. You can get away with it sometimes at the short tracks, but for a majority of the time, these national series ain't on quarter miles every week, buddy. You know, so I'm just saying, when you get into some wind, when that car can pick up some wind speed and not operate, that crew chief and that crew chief is a fucking. That should be the highest paid. I don't know how much the drivers are getting paid in percentage, but the fucking crew chiefs need to get a little bit more and take from you, because that crew chief is causing that shit. After Casey came, my life has changed. I can't believe what I saw. I would have bet $1,000 on it, Joe. What, you lost 25?
Well,
I would have. If Jeremy would have offered me that bet, I would have emptied the pockets. I would have been like, "Thank you, God. Here's your blessing." That was a blessing from God to take that bet. And look what the fuck happened. Are you kidding me?
I like to go to the comments here a little bit. Someone says that me and you felt Gio was overhyped after one good run. He had 9 outlaw wins.
Tell him how long.
I'd have to go back and look, but it wasn't very long.
It was just as fast. Dude, the commenters are stupid that say that, because here's the problem. Like I said, Gio looked like Buddy Kofoid this year so far. Like, he was that kind of quick. Wherever he looked like Anthony Macri, right? He was there in those early years. Joe, are you there? Did you hang up?
Yeah. I'm listening.
I'm just saying, he was there. Like, if Buddy Kofoid all of a sudden fell off next year and then was running like Gio is right now in 3 years or 4 years, wouldn't everyone be shocked? Like, that would blow your mind, right? if Buddy Kofoid in 3 years or 4 years from now all of a sudden wasn't really winning, kind of field filling, goes to high limit, and at the back, I mean, getting beat by Tanner Holmes. I mean, wouldn't everyone watching this show right now be shocked that that was the actual future from here on out?
I'm looking at some of Gio's numbers. 10 outlaw wins, but only 2 high limit wins. Of course, he's run 352 outlaw races. That's a lot.
Once you get on the national tour, you start putting them in.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I've given up on Gio. I think he's going to turn it around and do something.
You just think they need that crew chief?
Well, I don't know. Gio,
You think he should be Aaron? You said. Never mind. My bad.
He's been through quite a few teams. I would think as a driver, if racing is the way you're going to make a living, you should be your own crew chief, like Thorson and Reitzel
what question? What do you think about Emerson Axum? What's happening there? I would have thought up in there mixing it up, not what we're seeing.
I don't really. Is he on the Outlaw Tour? I don't even.
Right, but didn't you think he'd be a little better than what you're seeing? I mean, you really don't. You didn't see Emerson with any talent to be happy or hyper about or anything. You didn't think Emerson was ever that great?
No. You got me thinking about all these guys out here. I mean, Williamson's looking pretty good. Axum.
Yeah, well, what about that? What's up with that fall off? He's a younger driver crew chief type.
Danny Sams hasn't done what we thought he might do. What about this Steven Snyder? Is he something? I don't know.
Well, let's just say that some of these driver crew chiefs don't want to be that crew chief. Like, I know some younger drivers who really they're setting up the car, right? But they don't want to be. They're pissed off about it. They want a crew chief. They don't know what they're doing. They're having to build a notebook in one night, and by the end of the night, they got something, but they can't push restart, Especially the younger guys who are driver crew chiefs.
Well, it always helps to have people in the pits that are smarter. The more brains, the better. I can't argue with that. Okay, let's go to. I'm looking. Someone said, "What are my thoughts on Corey Day having success in NASCAR?"
Oh God!
I think Corey is going to get the cup and he's going to win races.
It's that simple. It really is that simple.
It really is. He's that good. He's going to get in there, and he's going to whip up on those NASCAR guys, and he's going to get in the cup, and he's eventually going to win.
Do you think that a World of Outlaws sprint car field is a stronger field than a cup field?
I've never watched NASCAR in my life.
I'm just asking you. You know how those guys get there, though. If it's that diluted in sprint car racing, where it's a couple 100,000 to race, or $1 million to race, or $2 million to race, like big game, do you think? Yeah. Do you think it's better where it's $15 million to rent for 1 year, not to own? At $2 million, you own a whole you have equity, right? Over there, you rent a car for $15 million. Do you think the talent's over there, or do you think the talent's over in dirt? You don't have to watch that race. You already know how the economics operate.
Well, there's thousands of guys driving sprint cars, and there's only 35 guys in NASCAR. But
yeah, it's like you said, the difference between Kofoid and Day was acceptance.
Nothing.
Look, the greatest example is Chase Briscoe. Casey Kane winning the World of Outlaw race is Chase Briscoe in NASCAR Cup racing. That is the same to me, because Chase Briscoe represents back to average finish of who's better than him. Chase Briscoe won one race in his entire career on dirt and raced like 4 or 5 years. He was Horrible. He represents how a damn street stock driver could potentially win the NASCAR Cup Championship and can win Cup races. So that's how strong their fucking field is. Our weak example's Tanner Holmes. Thanks. I'll take Tanner all day. I'll take Tanner all day. Bring him in.
When I was with Golubic, he ran 3 K&N races, and his second K&N race was at Kern County, and he was driving for Bill McAnally, and I think McAnally had 4 cars, and Chase Briscoe was in one of the other McAnally cars, and Shane drove by him in the race and beat him. I think Shane finished 8th, started like 15th and got to 8th. That was Chase Briscoe. When he stayed in NASCAR, I don't follow it closely. I don't know how this happened. Chase Briscoe somehow stayed in NASCAR North Carolina, and all of a sudden he's in cars and he's winning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happened. I have zero thought process. This is your point. How Chase Briscoe, what did he drive for Tony Stewart? I don't know.
In what?
However he got there.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, you're correct. He did get in with Tony into the Cup Series, yes.
But a guy that never won a wing sprint car race or did much anything is all of a sudden in NASCAR, and Buddy Kofoid, who's done nothing but win since he was like 5 years old, they didn't give him any fair chance at all.
Well, and I'm not, and this is where I pirouette more now, to where I'm not talking shit about them. Let them have their field, but there's just no comparison to the strength level in our national sprint car series. But yeah, it's pretty sad. It's one of those things, and I know Chase Briscoe. Like, Chase Briscoe's known me for 25 years. Last time I saw him was at Eldora, and I hadn't seen him in a very long time, and he knew exactly who I was. So anyway, it's just another reason why, when you're late at these parties or you're at these things or anything, because it's like you said, Corey Day got selected, Buddy Kofoid didn't. It's like, okay, then how do you get selected? Okay, well, you bring a bunch of money. Well, I don't have a bunch of money. What's the value then? What's more valuable than money? So, oh, well, Ford likes you. This guy likes you. Somebody gets behind you, get a backer. Or you're at these late night parties and they tell you how to P. Diddy your ass into that motherfucking party. Up that ladder. That's what I'm thinking. They're like that. You ain't got no money, you got something. Let's do a ritual.
Well, it's a world. I don't know how it works. I'm really not interested in it.
Let's do a ritual. That's how they might get in there. I don't fucking know, but they definitely got lucky. One guy had a backer, one guy didn't. Just same difference between. And that's why I like Kyle Larson's story, but I know that Buddy. This is why I'm so confident and have said that he's the Kyle Larson of dirt. Because I know if Kyle didn't get the same opportunities that if he got the same thing as Kofoid, he would be right where Buddy Kofoid is right now, running in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. But he got selected. If Corey Day didn't get selected, guess where he'd be racing right now? He'd be in that Jason Myers number 14 in high limit if he didn't get selected by the system. So how are these motherfuckers getting selected? This is the deal. This is what I'm saying. So even though Kyle's the greatest of all time and all this shit, he is one of the greats. But he's not the greatest of all because we don't even get to see him. I say it all the time. We don't even get to see. I said it on the Tony Stewart show. We don't even get to see all of them. It's not like they all get to go out there and pick the fucking, steering wheel up and try out the 410 kids. Let's see who throws the football better. That's not how you advance in racing.
See, I mean, the fact is, Day got selected by Larson and Gordon. You'd have to ask them why they picked him over Buddy. That's the question.
Well, you get the vanilla answers. I'm
So
thinking
you're not gonna get the real one.
there's some P. Diddy shit going on, to be honest with you, bud. I'm not even fucking kidding. Because the rumor is, you know, Briscoe went to North Carolina and became all Christian, and then all of a sudden it happened. So did they take him out in the woods and do some kind of, you know, ritual with the KKK or something? I don't know, but, you know, I'm just saying they might have went back there with the Knights, got it on, cut a little rabbit head off, made him eat the eyeball or something. I don't fucking know. I mean, how do you get initiated?
I don't know. I've never been initiated, so I don't know.
It just sounds like he got selected. That's why I call it Hunger Games. It's Hunger Games. They select a person.
Look at this. Joe, if Darrell Waltrip saw you race at San Jose and he wanted to put you in a cup car, would you have said no?
Oh, God. Do you want to tell him the story? Are we going to finish the story of why you like me or met me? You know, this all spurred from that. That was the question that never got answered. That guy's still sitting back, pissed, waiting for us to answer.
The thing is,
you understand what just happened, Joe? That's organic right there, buddy.
No, you have.
If I could drink THC and have a show every night, Broke Joe would be my new co-host.
No, you guys were talking cards, and cards are a thing of the past. I'm into tickets.
Okay, I understand. Cards. Let's not. Do we need to end the show? Maybe that's what's going on. Let's just shut her down. It's 3 hours in.
Okay. Any more questions? This might be the last time Broke Joe's on. So you got any closing questions? I want you people to, you know.
No, I mean, if I keep drinking THC, you'll come on all the time. Apparently, it's cognitive thinking.
No. I usually flip through these shows in the morning because they're on late, and every show in the chat group, people are saying, "Call Broke Joe," or "What does Broke Joe think?" They go by and you ignore them. But I have not been on this show in a year, and
that is revolutionary.
Nobody's asking for Clark.
No.
You had Caleb Montgomery on. Nobody's asking for him to be back on. It was so boring. There's nothing to say.
Why are you being mean to Caleb, bro? That's so dumb.
He's just stating the facts. You cut out the clip of him on the show and you put it as a separate entity. It couldn't even get 1,000 views.
Yeah, that is true.
Great. It's boring. These guys have nothing to say. I'm on the show. I have any new shenanigans in California sprint car racing.
Just keep talking. You're ranting about how much better you are than them.
No, I'm not. Your fans are saying it. I'm not saying it. They have a rule now with NARC. Well, me and Justin were talking about the rules. He goes, I don't think they know what the rules are. They're all mixed up. They're half NARC. They're half high limit. No one knows what the rules are. They have a rule now. Get this, Chaz. You ready?
Mm.
If you spin a 360 and they throw a yellow, you get your spot back.
But no, I know what you're about to say. Okay.
So I told Justin, I said, listen, if you're leading the race and someone passes, just spin a 360.
You have to let you catch back up.
Spin a 360.
If it's 10 to go, fucking whip it. They'll catch you right back up. That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
Well, Bud Kading was running 11th, and he spun, and 3 guys beat him to the line, and he got his spot back. And I thought it was shenanigans. So I went to the rule book, and it was correct. If you spin a 360, you get your spot back.
Yeah. So if you keep going, you got to keep going. You can't come to a stop.
I said to Justin, if someone passes, you just do a 360.
Well, now all you got to do is just slide a little bit. Well, and that, oh my. So then that's full circle. So you could do that with a 360, but if you just slide a little too much into the corner, you crank her in there like you're on a quarter mile, make a little mistake, and you almost spin out. You get a yellow thrown on you, and you go to the back. What the fuck is that? How does that happen?
Pretty soon,
how does that happen? You know what I'm talking about, right?
A guy's going to jump the cushion. They're going to throw a yellow.
Yeah, or you rip down a banner. And they throw the yellow and put you in the lead like they did Kyle at Chili Bowl. Yeah.
We're getting quite a few Joey Bats references. Joey's going to be here tomorrow.
He's still alive?
Oh, he's alive.
Oh, he had a lot of medical shit going on. I was like worried. But he always does, I guess.
He's going to be here tomorrow. He's picking up something to deliver something, and so Joey's still part of the team, I guess.
And your plans to have a sprint car race ready?
Me?
That's what everybody wants to know.
I'm stockpiling parts to put a car together for next year.
When you say stockpiling, you say you already got a car, you're just getting backups and stuff to run the season, or?
No. I just, I got like a torque ball housing, and I got my stops, and I get, when I order parts for people, I order an extra set of stuff, and I put it off to the side. Okay, I got a torque tube over here. I got my 3 rear ends I'm going to have gone through over there. I got a couple set of front spindles. I'm just slowly, every month spend $1,000 or so, and I'm stockpiling parts, and I'm going to put a car together.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You're going to drive, right?
I'm not planning to, but it doesn't mean I won't.
Yeah, this is I will fucking drive out there to figure that out.
It'll all be secret.
No, if you're gonna drive, that has to be. Well, I can see why you want to keep it a secret. I guess you don't recognize if you die, like no one knew. But I think it would be a cool video if it was fully documented and like on TV.
I don't want to be.
How old would you be?
How
old would you be?
I'm thinking if I make my comeback, I'm 68 now. I think 70 would be a nice number.
That's not the oldest of all time. Maybe in a 410. Oh, what's Sammy up to? Sammy's old. People don't know it, but Sammy's old, dude.
He's older than me.
Sammy's still running, so he's got you beat there. But people don't understand how old Sammy is. For Sammy actually looks extremely good for his age.
Yeah, last time I saw him, he wasn't really in that good a shape. He looked overweight. I go, why don't the guy work out? He has nothing else to do. Why don't he work out and get in good shape, man? He could probably get some better results.
Yeah, you think you got him beat? Are you gonna win when you get out there? Because you said the reason you never won was because you just didn't have the equipment. That's why you quit and sold everything.
No, I won one race.
Oh, San Jose. But what was it? I thought the story of you quitting was okay. Never mind. Maybe I was wrong.
No. You're asking me to analyze like why I didn't win myself?
No, I thought you said you went and ran your best lap one time, and you said you didn't have the equipment. You sold everything. You quit and sold out and then you went to building money.
Well, I only, in my whole dirt career, I started San Jose. They call it the super modifieds, but it's pretty much a 360 sprint car. I ran that about 40 times, and in a 410 car, I only ran 35 races. So my whole dirt career over 10 years was 75 races. I don't know how much, time, how fair it was really to me to analyze what I did. But in my 13th 410 race, I made an outlaw main at San Jose, and there was 70 cars in the pits, and I was, one of the 24 who made. I mean, after 13 410 races, that's pretty accomplished. But
then why did you quit?
It just got to a point where I bought the house, and I bought a motor from a California cartel member, and they lied what it was, and the motor didn't really run right.
I haven't heard California cartel, but I know the story when you started saying it.
And I had a brand new car. I sat for 2 years when I bought my house, and I had a brand new car. and I went to the 95 Mini Gold Cup, and I missed the main by one car. I finished behind Rick Hurst, Kyle Hurst's dad, and I beat the car behind me was Keith Kaufman, and the car behind that was Pilot. So I thought, for sitting for 2 years, I thought that was a pretty good first time out. And the next race at San Jose, I got involved in someone else's wreck where a car drove into my cage, and I woke up in the hospital and my car was destroyed. So I sat for 3 months, and I bought a used car, and I ran it 3 races, and I go, this car doesn't seem right. The motor's not right. My truck and trailer at this point, I bought the truck and trailer in late 88, end of 88. It was a truck and trailer Jeff Swindell used on the Outlaw Tour when he was with Payless. So the truck and trailer was wore out. I was worn out. The motor wasn't right. And I said, and you talked about the race at Hanford.
I thought that was the actual story as to why you quit. So I wasn't lying.
The last race was at Hanford. I was one of the first cars out. There was only 22 cars. I was one of the first cars out. I turned a 14.215, and I was running hard on the cushion. It was pretty ragged. I was bailing in there pretty hard. So I got out, and I watched the end of qualifying, and Chuck Miller went out late, and he had a brand new Maxim with a shaver. He was driving the Kenco 24K, and he ran below the cushion and turned to 13.5. And I said, I'm done. I said, I'm done.
You said, I just picture you standing there at the fucking pits, watching this car come by, and then you look up, and and the first thought is you look up to the fucking scoreboard and I'm done. It's just,
Chuck Miller was one of the Chuck Miller was a top guy, and I mean, equal equipment, he's probably beaten me by a couple tenths. But to be beat by 7 tenths when I know how hard I ran it.
And you had a better track, you're saying?
Yeah. I said, I didn't know going to that race that I was going to feel that way. But when I did what I did and I saw what he did, it just hit me, and I go, I can't compete with this guy. I can't compete with what I have and what he has. It's embarrassing. I go, I can't do this. There'd always been glimmers of hope before, but this was no hope. Everything I had was wrong. The car was wrong. The motor was wrong. The truck and trailer was wrong. I was worn out. I'd went as far as I could go, and it was just a loser. I go, I can't.
Now, did you have the best car and shit, or did
I?
Yeah.
No, I bought a used car.
Right. So at that moment, you just saw it was going to be too expensive to compete?
Well, I didn't have the money. I was already in debt to do it. I was in debt to do it, and I was a loser. But also, when I think back on the 75 races I ran, I never had new tires on the car, ever. I never ran new tires.
You realized that you just didn't have the money to do it. So you didn't say you talent-wise wasn't good enough. You just knew the car wasn't.
I don't think you could see. I don't separate. I'm not going to sit and talk myself up and say it was the car's fault. I put myself in that situation, and the whole thing was a loser. And I'm just as responsible as the car and the motor. It was mine.
So it was like the 2C or the 13. Right?
What was that?
So the quality of car you went to Hanford with was probably the quality of car of the 2C or the 13 in comparison to Chuck Miller, who's the big game 2 and the 24 and the 83. And
well, I'm pretty sure Tanner Holmes has new tires on the car.
Well, I know, but it was equipment. You didn't have the same money as those guys.
Well, my motor wasn't even running right. I don't know what.
There you go. So, I mean,
I had the motor taken apart. To look at the parts, and there were names engraved on certain parts like the crank that didn't match up to the name of the guy who sold it to me. So
it was a double fuck. And then you're like done.
Well, it's how the world works. If you're out there and you're not knowledgeable enough about something and you're vulnerable and someone takes advantage of you, it's your own fault. I mean, I don't blame nobody. I was involved in something that was a loser, and it wasn't something I could continue. So I said, I got to just stop and keep going to work and straighten things out. And
right.
That's what I tried to do.
Right.
But I don't.
Somebody asked, they say, ask Broke Joe who torched Kading's shop in 2005. What is he talking about?
Well, the whole Kading shop caught fire and they built a new shop. Their shop was back up against the freeway, and the freeway had like an embankment that went up to their shop, and I guess the grass was dry or something. I don't really know who's. I'm trying to think how that started. I don't know if somebody was working on a car there and they started the fire. You know, I'd have to research exactly what the fire people found who started that. But the fire went up the hill, and their shop
a person
was
who was working on the car was accused.
No, I think someone down on the freeway. Someone like down on the freeway.
Oh, like threw a cigarette out or.
No, I think it could be, but I'm almost thinking like somebody who's. Their car overheated or their brakes got hot, or I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Somebody just said J.W. Hunt burned it down. What? That has to be a joke.
Yeah, J.W. Hunt was around. He was a character. Did you know who he is, J.W. Hunt? You know that name?
I've heard stories. Yes, I didn't know or meet him.
Sounds like Joe needs to give it one more good old college try with fresh equipment. Now, this is what's interesting. Is when I stopped racing, me and Justin, we talk about this. I really thought in my mind, I go, I'll straighten this out in a couple years, right? In a couple years, I'll straighten it all out. Now, the couple years turned into 12 years. And in 2007, I had a truck, a trailer, and a car, and I went out and I raced at Ocean Speedway. I hadn't raced in 12 years. So I went out and raced. There were 20 cars. I qualified 13th quick.
Who was the big names then?
Who was there that night?
Yeah, that was considered a guy.
Oh, Brent was there. Stidham, Mike Henry, Caleb Henry's dad. Brad Furr might have been there. I'm not sure who else was there.
But anyways, what happened?
No, I qualified 13th, and I was running like 11th or 12th in the main, and with 5 laps to go, I got lapped, and yellow came out, and I just pulled off. And I ran that race because I hadn't run in 12 years to see what I would think. And I go, hey, I think I can do this. That was in July. So I sat for 6 months, and I was going to run the next year, right? So I had 2 cars sitting here, and Brian Sperry was helping me, and they had a 410 race at Ocean, and Sperry had a 410 motor. So I said, hey, let's put the 410 in and let Shane Golobic run the car, okay? He's 16. Hey, let's put Shane in the car. So the first night out, he runs 6th. You had Jason Myers. You had, I think, Shane Stewart. You had both Kadings. I mean, you had a good field of guys. Shane runs 6th. I go, that's pretty good. So the next night he went out. A couple weeks later, he went out, and his second night in my car, he won a King of the West race when he was 16, second time in the car. And I go, well, this is
that's
is going
quick
pretty
success. Good. Really quick.
Well, me and Jeremy, your boy, we argue about this all the time. Somewhat about how fast. Well, he always gives people a chance. Well, the team has to gel. The team has to figure this out. Now, the first time Justin drove my car, he won a King of the West race. I had a streak. This is my favorite streak as a car owner. I had 4 different drivers get in my car, and all of them set fast time. Buddy set fast time at Hanford. Justin set fast time at Ocean. Forsberg fast time at Ocean, and Evan Suggs fast time at Petaluma. 4 different guys getting in my car for the first time, setting fast time each guy. Now Ricky Sanders, I think he was second quick the first night, but I don't know. It's just something I think about. But Joe, these motors were not the same. Okay, any more questions? Joe, have you ever raced Craig Dillard? I know the name Craig Dillard. I don't know if I ever raced him.
We don't have to have any more questions. We can shut her down. Late over there.
Okay, well, give me 15. I'm actually enjoying this.
Of course you are, Joe.
Well, you were talking. I heard. Gravel shows. I've never watched it once.
Really, that was your first time?
I'll never watch it. That is boring, man.
Why?
Droning on about taking cards out of a pack. That's what he does.
Some people do it and make money, big money. You've seen them.
You're saying people buy packs of cards and make money?
No, opening packs. There's a whole market. Oh God, dude, go to like YouTube and type in sports pack opening or whatever, and it'll just show guys going to the store and buying packs or boxes and opening them and showing them what they got. That's on YouTube.
I can only be interested in a certain number of things. I can't be interested in everything. So I'm into tickets. I'm a ticket guy.
So if a guy went and bought a bunch of tickets and he was going to open them in a video, would you watch that video?
No, it doesn't work like that.
If he gets them shipped in or something, like he buys, there's bulk you can buy.
Yeah, but you're not going to find a good ticket. You're not going to find a Mickey Mantle, debut ticket or a Wilt Chamberlain 100-point game ticket or a 1980 Miracle on Ice ticket. No. Bradford. Okay. That's it. You got nothing for me? I'm signing off.
Might as well.
Okay.
What else do you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to say before we get you out of here? How about that?
I'm trying to think of anything exciting on the national scene here. No, it doesn't look like there's been really many surprises, has there? I mean, when you look at the overall sprint car season.
The only thing would have been the Casey Kane and then Thorson, maybe.
Yeah, but he's kind of fading lately.
Yeah,
so
that's why I say. Yeah, that's why I say maybe.
I mean, probably the one we can't figure out is how bad Brent March is doing. That's the biggest surprise, probably.
But that's been like a 2-3 year issue, right?
No, he's. I don't know. I'm saying this year, every time I see him, he's crashing.
I told the people there that's the number one car. Todd wants to make the switch to high limit. Just buy Brent Marks off the road. That's what I think.
Okay.
I could see a world. I could see a world where Brent Marks don't want to race no more on the road.
Hey, you got $20 because I'm on the show.
Oh, I'll send it to you, Joe. Right as the show's over.
No, send it to Jeremy. I lost that bet.
Well, he needs all the bets he can get, man. How about that streaming bullshit? They fucked him, huh?
Yeah. See, we talk about this. This.
I told Jeremy that's the cartel.
No, this is interesting. People don't talk about this side of racing, like the trouble I have with the motor. Justin had a similar situation when he got into racing of buying a motor, and they lie to you what it actually is, and you get ripped off.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah.
They don't talk about the thievery in racing. It's when you go into it with, you're kind of naive. You don't know, but yeah, Jeremy had his pay-per-view channel, and he jumped through all the hoops to get it started. You know, they said, well, you got to buy your own equipment and you got to do this and you got to learn how to do that. And he did all that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing some live streams from BAPS, and he was giving the tracks a good fair amount of the money.
Doing it right.
He was doing it right, and he was doing it fair, and he was doing a great job. And the powers that be saw that he was making the money, and they cut him out of it. They cut him out of it. And
that is called greedy capitalism.
No, this is how America works.
That's called greedy capitalism.
You can call it what you want, but when this, okay, I'm going to go back to the people who grow up with money. When you grow up with money, you're protected
by the money
for the most part from this kind of thing happening to you.
By the money. Yep.
When you don't have the money, when you're starting off like I did, you know, and you're just a nobody, just working, and you get involved in things, people can take advantage of you. And these track owners got together and they took advantage of Jeremy, and he was not treated fairly.
No.
And this is how the world works. When you're involved in racing, you're in a pit area with, nowadays it's pretty much all wealthy people, and they're all there. You've talked to stroke their ego. It's an ego stroke thing. And when you start ruffling the feathers of these guys,
you get stroked.
you get a lot of anger.
The mafia gets you.
Aimed towards you. And it's how the world works, you know, the real world, not, you know, a guy sitting in the stands thinking you know how it works. When you're someone like me who just one guy in a shop working, you're putting a car on the track and you start winning King of the West races and top 5 and outlaw races, and guys who have millions of dollars can't do it. They don't like it. They don't like it. And they'll do everything they can to stop it.
Right.
They're gonna stop it. I think, well, there's a lot of things I can't say yet.
I think that's how it happens in the Wild West of California. I don't think that happens out here.
I don't know. I've never been on the road traveling, so I don't know the dynamic of the pit area. But I know
there's just too many fans over here. Like PA, you couldn't get away with it. But
I said it before. When my car ran outlaw races, we were twice penalized for being late to the work area. I mean, the push-off area for a dash, and it was not true. We were there, and they penalized us. So, I don't know how common something like that is all over the country, because people won't come out and talk about it because they might get penalized more.
Right.
But I know my car, like when Shane Stewart wiped my car out, I said it at the time, he destroyed my car and his car on the last lap of a dash. And I said at the time, you'll never see that again. That's how intentional it was. And you haven't seen it. That was 2018. That's 8 years ago that my car went flipping off the track on the last lap of a dash. Come on. I mean, come on. You're targeted. And, but that's okay. That's okay. Someone asked me my thought on Jet Barnes. They must have missed earlier.
You think he's great? He's a next Kofoid Larson.
I'm telling you.
That's what you're saying. That's fine.
What I have seen so far. In fact, the first time I ever saw him was last year in a car up in Oregon, and he was battling a heat race, and the graphic just said Barnes. It said Barnes. So I figured it was Jamie Barnes, like a veteran guy, used to race up in the Skagit. And it was Jet Barnes. But the last couple races I've watched Jet Barnes, he was able to move around the track and find a different line that nobody else was running and win a race. Now, I know it's only 360 and the competition wasn't that tough, but that in itself is a skill.
Right.
That
to
you
think
can't,
outside the pack.
It's like a running back. You can't tell him, okay, if the guy tries to tackle you, you cut here, you cut there. It's just instinct. He instinctively did things that at his age and his, to say, lack of experience, he shouldn't have been able to do. Now, I don't know if that was just, it happened that night. I haven't seen him enough, but it was a sign of, I go, wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Jet Barnes. We'll see how he does this week.
Yeah, I don't think you ever lose that instinct, Joe. That's all I'm saying when it comes to age brackets. So maybe even you at your old age, you still got the instinct or the ability to allow the instinct to operate.
I don't know. If I don't know. I got to say, the one thing that has really been upsetting here is the Chase Johnson injury.
Yeah.
You know, I know Chase pretty well, and he comes from one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of those random events, and someone gets hurt that severely. It does give you a thought. And I think Jacob Allen he was saying he thought about that when he stopped driving.
Yeah.
It does enter your mind. But I can't tell you what I'm going to be thinking 2 years from now.
Does that point out a bigger psychological issue that every person in a sprint car technically might have something wrong with them mentally, literally? No, seriously, think about what you're saying, because they're actively doing it, right? So they are accepting that the shark in the water, it's like surfers, dude. It's kind of like surfers. Yeah, not everybody gets bit by the shark, but every now and then, somebody does. It's like surfing. I think surfing's pretty extreme, to put yourself at that risk of the worst happening.
The thing that I think about is my peer group, the guys that I raced with and are pretty much my age. Brent Kading and Steve Kent and Tim Green and Jack Hewitt. All these guys have health issues from racing. Back problems, neck problems.
Yeah, Jack Hewitt's, it's pretty hard to watch him.
So maybe, and then there's, people I knew pretty well, like Dave Bradway Jr. and, Brian Clausen and Hodnett, who all passed away in cars. Two of them drove for me. That I think, I don't know, it just makes you think, maybe I'm lucky I didn't race.
Right.
And I'm healthy enough now, I don't know how, that I have the health that I could actually go out there and try to do it if I want to, because I still have my, sight and my strength. And
and even people rattling around the cars, even just older sprint car drivers who didn't get in bad wrecks,
they have back
there's still
issues.
long-term issues from racing all them years and doing that to your body every week.
Like Craig Delansky or something. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, but I'm saying I think I might have been lucky that I didn't have the money to do it.
For your own personal health benefits.
That's right. That's right.
The non-egotistical side.
I don't know. I mean, things. Joe, did you ever run?
What is it about winning a race that's so amazing that you're? What did you really miss out? You didn't win a sprint car race. Okay, is that?
No, I won one. Or
you won one, or you didn't race again, or is it really missing out? Like, even if you went and won all the World Outlaw Championships and everything, we still sat here and watched Mike Tyson say his championship belts are trash. It's like, what did you really miss out on?
Well,
It's just materialistic, egotistical, driven things. Period. Winning in itself is egotistical.
Yeah, but you can't put your heart and soul into something and then when it's over say it didn't mean anything. It meant something at the time.
No, I will say that. Oh, we just lost Joe. I think it hit a time limit. I will say that when he gets back on here. I guess it just reached the time limit. He's not answering though. Still ringing. There we go. We get him right on time. But I will say to that, everybody is in love. The drivers that are actively racing with all these risks, just like the surfer, they're in love with riding that fucking wave. They're out there willing to get eaten by that fucking shark because they love the thrill of what they're doing. So everybody out there on that track, whether they're winning or losing or whatever, they obviously love it. They're willing to let that shark bite them, you know. So,
well, I was someone who was in sports. You know, I was racing at 6 years old. So it's just fun. It was a fun, sports is fun, and gassing up a sprint car is fun. And
they get to do it every week, and they love it. They're willing to die for it.
Yeah, but I don't think they're thinking that way. I mean, it's, you know, it's like saying you're going to drive to the grocery store. You're willing to die for it. It could happen there too. I don't know. There's
well, but no, this is accepted risk, Joe. Like when the surfer aspect's very comparable here, actually, because you're guaranteeing that this can happen. Like there's active sharks in the water. It does happen all the time. Like you're.
Well, what I find interesting is someone like Courtney, who has he injured his back twice?
I don't know, but in Arizona, he said he couldn't reach his toes, but he might be better now. Like he couldn't stand up straight and reach his toes. He could only get like past his knee or close to it.
Yeah, I get, and like Macri, isn't it the second time he hurt his back?
Pursley's the worst one.
Yeah, that was a bad wreck. He ran over Buddy.
Well, did you listen to Jeremy and Westbrook's show?
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about how Pursley's technically a paraplegic. That's what Wesley was saying, or Westbrook.
And Westbrook's another one that got hurt. You know, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I don't know what to think. I don't know what I'll think in a couple of years. I don't know. I don't know. It's dangerous, and people are going to do it. And then you get guys like Sammy. He really never had a serious injury, or Steve.
Yeah, he's the best one.
Steve had neck injuries, and Sammy had a few little injuries. Same with Hod, but you know, Doty got hurt. I don't know.
Did you see Carl Kinzer get like a monument put up for him? Did you see that?
I did. We talked about Carl when you were at my shop. There's no one I admire more than Carl. Man, I'd like to go hang out with him. I told you the story many times when they used to come to Baylands and they'd be at the Fremont Inn and I'd go hang out with them. So for some reason they let me stand there for hours every year they came. And that Carl Kinzer. So we talked about this before. You never saw the Kinzer show. Carl was everything. You know, his sense of humor, his mechanical ability, his hard work, man, it was just, he was the man. Carl was the standard.
Well, we want to talk about being able to move around. How old is he, man? He looks like he could probably still Davy Brown it. Did you see him in the video? I was expecting some guy walking around all slow. He was jumping around. I mean, honestly, if I'm Emerson Axum or somebody, I would be trying to talk to Carl Kinzer to come back, dude. He looks like he could do it.
You know, I look at this Steve Kinzer, and they talk about all his wins. He has 795 winged wins, and then over here he has 98 non-wing wins.
Yeah.
So that's 893 wins. Think about that.
894 when you count IROC. Because he did win an IROC race.
In a sprint car. So when they try to compare Larson.
Right.
Okay, 894 wins.
Wing, non-wing, you're not even counting Silver Crown? Because he won it. Yeah, I think he won a Silver Crown championship.
Well, that's counting the wingless races.
Well, yeah, but non-wing sprint car or Silver Crown. That's two different vehicles.
No, but I think those are all lumped into those wins.
I would ask Chat GTP, but it lies apparently.
If you look at all Larson's wins, it's actually 121. 893 is a lot bigger than 121. So, I got to give the nod to Kinzer. 893 wins.
That's crazy.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm looking up the USAC Silver Crown. I'm curious if how many. Oh, he only has 3. It says.
Somebody asked me if I ever ran a NARC race at Dixon. I never ran a race at Dixon, but I went and watched a race at Dixon, and I believe it was around 1979. I didn't get into dirt racing till '86, so I think Dixon was long gone. That was Dixon was at the fairgrounds.
Doing some research. We'll see what we can figure out on you.
Any thoughts on Sargent saying there's a chance San Jose Speedway comes back?
How do you spell your last name?
Do you ever put my name in and see what shows up on the Chat GTP?
That's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm trying to do. How do you? That's the full last name is one word, right?
I make it one word. VONSCHRILTZ. It's kind of creepy that they have a little bio on me.
Well, they don't. It says it's the wrong name.
No, you put Joe Von Schultz in there. They're talking about me.
Where? They said they need to find a credible name. That's why I'm trying to spell your name right.
You must have spelled it wrong.
VONSCHRLTZ.
RIL.
And then is it one word?
I make it one word. You make it 2 words. No.
Let's see. Your name is not Ernest. It's not you. Are you doing the same now?
Yeah, it's funny. This computer doesn't show it, but there's other computers that I've seen like they have a whole Chat GPT, AI, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they don't have it. Not that important. All right, Chaz. That's it. It sounds like you ran out of gas here.
I mean, if you look up my name, there's a lot of things. Pictures, all kinds of stuff.
Randy's brother got killed there now. Okay, man, your chat don't even have good questions. We're losing viewers. They want Spike.
Do you want to hear what it says about me?
I guess okay. Go.
Chaz Thompson, which is my name, known as the Chaz, is an independent dirt track racing media personality. Is that the proper? People ask me, what are you? Media personality, interviewer, commentator, and content creator. Heavily involved in the sprint car racing scene, particularly the World of Outlaws, High Limit, and the Pennsylvania Posse scene. What it says. It has a big list of things. I just don't want to read it all.
Okay, I'm going to show you.
Was that accurate? I mean, did you ever play baseball?
Sure.
What did you do? Do you have any collegiate accolades to brag about since you know it all?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played 2 years of college.
And what happened? Why ain't you in the MLB?
I did not like the way it was going after 2 years, and I had a couple scholarship offers, and I turned them down.
You think that was smart?
Sure, I went on my instincts. I went what I thought was right for me. I didn't think that was a path that I should continue on. I just didn't think it just wasn't working out the way I thought it should work out.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Although what is strange about it, when I think about it, is one of the schools that offered me a scholarship was Fresno State, and one of the other guys that they offered a scholarship to was Dan Gladden. Dan Gladden went to Fresno State, and he made the majors, and he had a pretty good career. I think he won a World Series with the White Sox, and he was like a 10-year, 12-year major league career. So I kind of wonder what would have happened if I went to Fresno State. But it wasn't in the cards. It wasn't in the cards for me. I was only 5'7", and to be 5'7" and play center field, there's never been a 5'7" center fielder in the history of baseball. And I think it just felt, no matter how well I played, that they were always going to put a 6'2" guy out there, give him a shot. We'll give that guy a shot. So
do you think a 5'7" player could do it, and the coaches just put the taller guy in?
Well, I think baseball,
like in sports, I feel like that happens. If you don't fit a certain frame, they won't even play you, even though you could do it.
Well, if you and I do this once in a while, if you look at Major League Baseball, and I always just look at the center fielders because that was my position, the taller you are, the lower your average can be. If you're 6'3", you can hit 210. If you're 6'1", you can hit 250. It's a sliding scale. It's strange. But my thought was, like golf or tennis or baseball, size shouldn't matter. Now, football and basketball is different because you're going up against somebody.
Right.
You're physically going up against somebody. But in baseball, you're only dealing with the ball. If you can hit the ball and catch the ball and throw the ball doesn't know how tall you are.
Right, you got to run.
Well, yeah, okay. I was as fast as anybody playing baseball. But,
okay.
But I was small. But if you look at the major leagues, well, I look at the colleges too. I look around here, Stanford and Santa Clara and San Jose State. The average outfielder in college baseball in the Bay Area, Cal, Stanford, Santa Clara, San Jose State, the four kind of bigger colleges. The average outfielder is 6'1", 195. And I don't really know why that is. Are they telling me there's not one guy? There's no group of guys that are, 5'6", 5'7", 5'8" that can play the outfield. And then I look at like Stanford and San Jose. Stanford has a horrible losing record this year in baseball. I go, now you think Stanford could get like anybody they want? I mean, you're Stanford. How are you having a losing baseball team? Who's running the operation? If you had the whole country to pick from, you can't even have a winning record? I just find that, I don't know. Obviously, they're not picking guys that are good.
Do you think it's throwing strength? Usually the taller guys can throw harder,
Well, sure. The mechanics of a taller guy throwing harder. But I'm saying if you play my position, center field,
sometimes they need you to throw the length, right?
When I played, I could usually throw farther than anybody on the team. I know in high school, I remember throwing a baseball 90 yards. That, we go out, we do this stuff all the time. We practice this. If you want to get into a baseball throwing contest, we can do that too. But, I had a good arm. I mean, I don't know. I don't have the answers. You're talking about 50 years ago now.
Right.
Somebody asked how quick I ran a 4.6.
I would not doubt Broke Joe's professional athletic career. I had to learn the hard way. I don't know why you're not a world champion free throw shooter. Like, you have the ability. Why would you want to go run sprint cars? Just do free throw competitions. The fuck? You could be world champion in 3 years. You had all the money in the world.
But that wasn't even a sport I played.
I don't care. Like, you got world champion ability here. What did you make? 97 of 100 free throws? When I was telling people this, they couldn't believe it.
No, I made 132 out of 150. I made 88%. Now, if I was out there practicing every week, I could hit 90.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's when I talk. Okay, what happened? I went to San Jose State as a freshman. I walked on, and I felt I should have been on the varsity. Their center fielder was a senior, and he was a good player. The left fielder was a very good player, but their right fielder stunk. I should have played right field. They put me on the JV team. I hit 368 and made all league on the JV team, and they gave me a scholarship to come back the next year. Okay, fine. My sophomore year, I came back. They were not going to allow me to try out for the varsity. They were going to put me on the JV team, and I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I should have been on the varsity my freshman year. I'm certainly not going to not get a chance to try out. So I left San Jose State. I went and played at the junior college for a year. And then with about 3 weeks, a month ago in the season, my dad said, hey, there's a midget race at San Jose Speedway, the old paved San Jose Speedway. There's a midget race. I hadn't been to a race since I quit when I was 11, so I'm 19, 8 years. I hadn't been to a race in 8 years. My dad said, hey, you want to go to the races? So sure, I'll go. And it was a USAC midget race on the pavement. And some of the guys in the race were Indy runners, Pancho Carter, Bentonhausen, Johnny Parsons. There were guys who ran the Indy 500 in this race. And some of the car owners that owned some of these midgets, like Lenny Gonzel, was my dad's friend, and I drove for Lenny Gonzel in quarter midgets. And Ray Bassell had a car out there, and I knew him, and I raced against his son. So I had this epiphany. When I was sitting in the stands, I go, why am I playing baseball? And I'm not really feeling I'm getting a fair shot when I can go back into a sport I grew up in, and I have all these connections. It sounds like it makes sense, don't it?
Little did you know at that time.
little did I know. Correct.
What you know today.
Little did I know that this is where the story deepens. I was 19 at the time. My dad, we're going to race, and then, I was around my dad, and then I, started taking school seriously, and at 21 I started my business, and my dad wanted to get into racing, and then where I kind of make fun of these people. I go, I don't know if I want to drive for my dad. Okay, I did it when I was 10. I'm 20. It seems kind of, I don't know if I want to do that. And then we had kind of a falling out about it. And, I worked for 6 years to buy a car. I was 20. It took me 6 years I got my degree and started a business, and I saved money. It took me 6 years to buy a sprint car to go racing. Now, had I known that was going to play out that way, probably went down to Fresno State and checked out the baseball before I said no. I don't know.
Right. So that's a bigger regret than racing.
No, I don't think it's a regret, because I made at the time what I felt was the right decision for me. Now, sure, once things play out, you go, well, yeah, I could have. And I was asked about it a lot, because people knew me as that athlete So, hey, how come you quit? How come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing that? And it was kind of unusual. In 1978, the year after I quit baseball, I went down to Anaheim because my high school teammate, Carney Lansford, was in the majors, right? And so before the game, I went and talked to him, and he looks at me. First thing he said is, "Hey, are you still playing ball?" No, not playing. So I don't know. You make decisions to the best you can in real time, and you live with it. So I mean, I don't regret it. I don't think I did anything wrong. I did what I thought was right, and it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes.
Okay.
But it was interesting. The whole 68 years. The whole life is interesting. One last thing I'll tell you just about odds and how things work. I've told you this story when you were here. My parents had a child. My older sister would have been 2 years older than me, lived 2 days, December 5th to December 7th, 1955. Joan, my older sister, lived 2 days. Then they had me 2 years later. And then after me, my mom had a miscarriage. So I always look at life and go, man, the randomness of it all. The randomness.
Yeah.
There's a and I've got to live 68 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. People underestimate the value.
I think about Greg Hodnett. I think about Clausen. There were two guys that drove my car, and two of the greatest fun-loving guys, just great individuals, great racers. I always think about the Chili Bowl. Every year the Chili Bowl comes, I wonder if Brian Clausen and Kevin Swindell were still in the car, what would this look like?
Right.
You'd have to think that they'd be right in the front. They'd be right in the front. So on that heavy note, Joe, do you know GT American Chassis is? Listening to all this makes me think, I know what GT American Chassis is. I do know that. Okay, that's it. That's my return.
All righty.
Let's have Spike top that.
He's done.
Okay. All right. I enjoyed being on.
All righty. Thanks for coming on.
Good luck
It was fun.
in the service.